in the end. The spoils shared there in Serbia. We're going to discuss this game, but what's to discuss? We will, though, reflect on what Pedri's been saying about his new boss, and players almost sing from the same hymn sheet, don't they, when it comes to talking about their new managers. We work much harder than before. The new fitness coaches that have come in are really good for us. We work hard, and you notice it in games. The team doesn't dip after the 70th or 80th minute. It maintains the same fitness levels. He does have that element of being a sergeant about him, but he's good as gold when he speaks with players. I'm sure he's good as gold. I feel free. I think that's what he has transmitted to me, to play without pressure and to do what I know. I feel much more at ease.
It's nothing like rubbish in the old regime.
Take that, Xavi, you lazy man.
You know what the new coaches always say when they come in, although this isn't, I don't remember Hansi Flick being quoted, but your standard new management quote is, they're not fit enough.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
We're moving the mayonnaise from the cafeteria, or the tomato ketchup, or whatever, the usual standard. But you know, Hansi Flick's brought, I don't know how many of his staff he's brought in, but I'm sure there are some people that he's brought. Training will always change with a different manager. Standards are different, and maybe, I don't know this, maybe Xavi was a little bit lax. Something we actually saw Gundogan sort of hint at in some of his press conferences about, how can I say it, about attitude towards poor performances and defeat in big games after the games was kind of, in his mind, lax. And he got frustrated by that. And maybe there was a bit of that behind the scenes, I don't know. But they did win a championship when he was there. But it's amazing how when you have a bad season
that's forgotten.
That's forgotten. And new guy comes in and everything he's doing is brilliant at the moment.
Well, you always go that way, because when somebody new comes in, things change. Because everybody does it, not a completely different way, but a slightly different way. And when you start off the season the way Barcelona have started, then in your mind, particularly the younger guys, it's about the changes. We weren't doing this last year.
Right.
Or the previous manager, we weren't doing this. So you can understand why somebody like Pedri comes out and says that, because it is different. And you've started well, so I guess 2 and 2 makes 4. It's because of what you're doing.
Hansi Flick, he's exceeded all expectations so far in his duels.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was really interesting is that we saw, for example, that Xavi used to give the Sunday off sometimes. No Sunday off with Flick anymore. And what we saw really is the intensity during matches. And I think I'm not sure if he's right that they don't deep so much that they used to after 70 minutes last season under Xavi, but certainly they seem to be keeping, and we saw that against Valladolid, and Valladolid was a special game because they were so dominant, Barcelona, and so much better, and etc., but they seem to keep going and going to keep that intensity, the verticality, the counter-pressing, all of that through the whole game, and maybe that's the main difference that really Flick has also brought, more than changing everything tactically or not having the kind of Barca DNA in him because he was never at the club before. So being able to play slightly differently than if you're Xavi and you have to kind of play the heritage from Cruyff and all of that. It's also the fact that physically, they may be better. But again, if you peak too early, that's not good, because when you're going to get to February, March in the massive games in the Champions League or in the league and you run out of steam, that's not good either. So sometimes teams are better and ready further down the line in the season, more than so early, so like Barcelona this year, for example.
As if Xavi never got enough kicks in the you-know-what last year.
No, he's got Pedri.
When he's getting... somebody's just getting up and walloping him because he was having a bad time, he was self-combusting, he packed it all in, said he's had enough, then he changed his mind, and then Laporta sacked him.
Yep.
Now he's got the youngsters piling into him because Hansi Flick's had a great start. Look, I hope Barca and Atleti and Real and others make it a really interesting season. The early signs that could be right, but it's a long old slog. They haven't played, so they played Valencia away, which wasn't an easy game. They've had that Valladolid game.
Yeah, Athletic Club as well. You look at that, that's not easy.
Yeah, Athletic Club normally play some really good stuff. So it's been a mixed start, but there's some big tests to come.
Yeah.
But it's been encouraging. Like when Hansi Flick goes in, the Germans do it. You don't want to sort of generalise, but they are a bit more structured. So the first thing I think he'd be looking at is getting some players that he wants, obviously working on the fitness and other stuff, changing the tactics, but having a little bit more structure about them as well. And that at least gives you, a little base to work from.
And there's a little bit more... Danny Olmo coming in, there isn't that over-reliance on Pedri that we maybe saw over the last couple of seasons, and we know how that ended with regards to, say, injuries.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking there are certain things in football that have never changed over 100 years or more. When you're winning, you can run all day.
Right.
When you're winning, you'll run up and down and chase and harry, and it's easy. But when things are not going your way, everything becomes harder, particularly running up and down. So I think it's a little early to start saying that, Flick is no question has made a huge difference, and Xavi was doing this the wrong way and Flick's doing this the right way. Listen, right now, they're winning games and everybody and anybody can run for 90 minutes without a problem.
Right. And that was the Rayo game there.
Yeah.
I mean, saw him scoring. And that was a game that, and to be fair, that was a game where for 45 minutes they got outplayed. And Danny Olmo come on and he changed the game. Yeah. They did have that goal chopped off. I'm not going to run it again, I hope, because I'll definitely lose the plot. The Lewandowski one. But don't forget, right at the end, Rayo, they had a couple,
yeah, they had a real good chance.
A couple of real good chances. So, the Valladolid game apart, they absolutely took them apart. I mean, Real beat them, was it 3 or 4 in the end?
3 at the Bernabeu.
3 at the Bernabeu. It was a slog for 45. And then, what's his name, got the free kick deflected.
Yes, Valverde.
Valverde come on and scored. But it's been good, but there's been little glimpses of the old Barca where, as I say, Raya outplayed them and they struggled in the first half against Valencia. But all in all, 12 points from 4.
Yeah.
It's a perfect start for Hansi Flick.
Quite literally a perfect start, of course. 12 points after their opening 4 matches.